All right, in grammar, we're going to turn to page 127. 127 in grammar. How short that is. That's kind of nice. So, we're talking about pronouns today. You guys already know about pronouns. You've already been marking them in your books. And originally, the first time you learned about pronouns, you learned about he, she, and it. And then we kind of learned that, oh, there's more. If it's plural, it's they or them or other words that can function as pronouns. So we're going to review all the different pronouns and then we're going to learn one more. Just when you thought you knew everything about pronouns. Well, that's English for you. Good stuff, right? Okay, so pronouns. A pronoun replaces a noun, you already know that, in order to avoid repetition. It reflects back to the same person or some person or thing recently mentioned and takes the place of that person or thing. So we already know that it takes the place of the actual noun just so that we can change up the sentence a little bit so it's not so repetitious. It's not saying the same word over and over and over again. So there are many types of pronouns. That's what we're going to review right here. Way back in week 1, you reviewed personal pronouns. Those are the ones I just told you. He, she, it, they, them, me and you and I. Those are also personal pronouns, which take the place of common and proper nouns, people, basically, or places, if you're using it. And then in week 9, way back in week 9, you learned about indefinite pronouns, which do not refer to any particular person or thing. And then in week 9, you also learned demonstrative pronouns, which point to a particular person or thing. So you already know personal, indefinite, and demonstrative. We're going to review those in a second. Today, you're going to learn about reflexive pronouns. This is another one. Like I said, just when you thought you knew, well, guess what? English is like this. There's more. It ends in self, which is singular, or selves, which is plural, meaning more than one, and refers to the subject of the same sentence. So we have two examples here of reflexive pronouns. It says you're still going to write PR. So that's the good news for you guys. When you're labeling them in this book, you only have to label them pronoun. You don't have to tell what type of pronoun they are, but just know that these are the types of pronouns we have in English. So the first example says the men hid themselves in the forest. So that word themselves is a reflexive pronoun. It's plural because it has a V, their selves, themselves. We know them is plural. And it's referring back to the men. And we know men is also plural. If it was man, it's singular. But since we have men, more than one, we're going to refer back to them as themselves. So the men hid themselves in the forest, and that's still a pronoun, so it's PR. And then we've got Robin stood up for himself. Himself is referring back to Robin. We're still labeling it as a pronoun, and it refers to the subject of the sentence, which in this case is Robin. Okay. Now, I want you to turn to a page in the very, very, very back of your book because I want you to mark this page in the very back on page 197. It's like the second to the very last page. This one, page 197. Go to the very, very, very back of your book. This would be a good page to put a post-it note if you have one with your stuff right there. Because this page, you might want to come back to it to remind yourself what the pronouns are. And I'm going to show you this page in a second, but put your post-it upside down like this. Stick it down, and then the part that's loose, just put pronouns on it. Oops, O-U-N-S. And here's all of them. That way, if you get stuck when you're doing your homework and you're like, which one's the pronoun? I can't remember. Well, go to the very back here. It's reviewing all of them. These are the pronouns. Pronouns, I wrote that on this on the post-it, stick it above the page like that. And you've got personal pronouns. Those are the easiest ones. Those are the ones you've been doing for a while. And then this is your chart. It includes reflexive pronouns here. But it's showing you how to use these pronouns. These are different cases. This is how to use that. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But then you've got relative pronoun. We haven't even talked about that one yet. It's coming. And then interrogative, we know. Demonstrative, we know. And indefinite pronouns, we know. So this page has a big list on the bottom here of the indefinite pronouns, singular, plural, and then this can go either way. But let's look at this chart back up here. So you know how to read this. On the left, you're going to see singular and plural. You guys know singular means one person, and plural means more than one. It could be a bunch. And then you've got three persons. This is like who's speaking in a narrative or what perspective it is in a story. You've got first person, second person, and third person. And then you've got for plural, first, second, and third person here. And then as you read this across, these are subjective pronouns and they function as the subject or the subject complement. We'll be talking about that more as we get into the grammar, but just remember these can be used as the subject of the sentence. So I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. These are also personal pronouns. And then we've got objective. They function as the object of the sentence. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. These are like whatever's happening in the sentence is happening to these pronouns. Okay, they are the object of what it's happening to. And then we've got possessive, and we know that word possessive just means if you own it, if it's yours, you possess it. So these are possessive. They function sometimes as an adjective, like here. Sometimes we mark these as adjectives. My, your, his, her, its, our, your, their. And then these function as a possessive pronoun. Mine, yours, his, hers, its, ours, yours, theirs. And then here's the new one we're talking about today, reflexive. It's the subject of the same sentence. It refers to the subject, basically, like we talked about earlier. So myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. Okay, so here's your big page to look back on. As you're going through the book and you go through your list of things to find, and you get to pronouns and you're looking at your sentence and you're like, I have no idea which one of these is the pronoun. Go back to this page and you can see them listed here. That might help you. All right. Now we're going to go back to page 129 is going to be the practice page for today. So go back to 129. And Christian, can you read the sentence, please?
Robin Robin was drenched. He heartily laughed at himself because he knew that he looked ridiculous.
Okay, good. So the word is ridiculous. That's like, we know what that is. It means like looks silly or dumb or something like that, or just something that's laughable. Okay. So ridiculous. He was feeling ridiculous. By the way, that word drenched, you probably know, means really wet. And then heartily means like a big laugh. Like the prefix there, the base word is hearty. So like I always think of like a hearty breakfast is like bacon, eggs, pancakes. Sorry if I'm making you hungry, but heartily just means like a big laugh. That's how he laughed. He's like a big laugh. All right. One noun. So Harmony, there's only one. Do you see the noun in this sentence?
What's Robin?
Good. Robin is the noun. Good. We've got four pronouns. So Grayson, what about those pronouns?
Himself,
Good.
he, and then another he.
And another he. We got lots of he's in here. And himself. Good. That is the reflexive pronoun we just talked about. Two adjectives, Christian.
Ridiculous and heartily is an adverb.
Yeah, good. That's true. So not heartily.
Ridiculous and drenched.
Yes, good. Drenched. So you might have gotten stuck on that because it has an ed, and sometimes, those are verbs. Drenched. But in this case, Robin was drenched. So this is a linking verb telling about how Robin was, right? He was wet or drenched. Very good. Um, and you were right about that adverb. It is heartily because it has a ly at the end. So let's just mark that as the adverb. And then I'm going to come back to the phrase. So, Harmony, what about that clause? Where's the that clause?
Read it to her. But he looked ridiculous.
Good. That he looked ridiculous is the that clause. It starts with that. So we're going to label it that. Very good. Adverb clause, Grayson. This is the Asia one.
Because he knew.
Because he knew. Very good. That's the dot B in the Asia clause. And then two main clauses, Christian.
Robin was drenched.
Good.
He heartily laughed at himself.
Good. Nice. And those are complete thoughts. And they have a subject verb, even though we haven't found the subject verb yet, but they're in there. So next is the subject verb. We'll start with verbs. How about Harmony? Where are the verbs in these sentences here?
Verb. What word? Was.
Was is one. Good.
What's next? She just wants the verbs, not the subjects.
Yeah.
Left. Good.
Laughed. Good. Yep, that's one.
What else? Knew.
Good.
One more. Looked.
And looked. Very good. Nice job. So we got those four verbs. And now what are the subjects that go with those, Grayson? Who was it that's doing each one of these things?
Robin.
Good.
He.
Good.
He.
Good.
He.
And he. Good. So notice each of those clauses have a subject verb pair. And if it helps you when you're doing your homework to find those at the same time, that's okay too. If you want to look at subject verb together, that's good too. Sometimes I like to split it up. Okay, very good. Got that done. Prepositional phrase, Grayson.
At himself.
Good. At himself. And then Christian, what about the openers?
One on Robin was drenched, and one on he heartily laughed for like the subject.
Okay, so this does look like a subject opener, but because it only has three words, Robin was drenched. What is the other opener that it could be?
6.
Yes, this is actually a six. VSS, very short sentence. Remember when we talked about that? So that one is actually six, even though it does start with a subject. It does. This other one, though, that is correct. This is a number one subject. Okay. Well, before we find the capitals, we need to figure out the end marks. So it says two end marks. So we're going to split up something here. So Harmony, do you know where the two different end marks go?
Where does it go? Tell her where the period goes after the word. Drenched.
Yes, good. That's one. Where does the other one go?
Where's the other period go? At the end, after the word. Ridiculous.
Good. Excellent. And the reason why we put one here at drenched, we're going to have to take out that comma, by the way. So put a little squiggly mark there to remove that comma because we don't need both. But we do need a period because we have two main clauses side by side. And remember, the rule is it has to have either a coordinating conjunction in between, or you're going to have to just split it up into two sentences. This is like that comma splice. We talked about this like a long time ago, but that's where it goes. The period goes between those two. So now that we have the end marks, you can do the capitals now on your own, just those two. And then Christian, what about the other comma rule? We took out one, so there's one more comma rule. What do we need to do?
I went after because he knew.
No, not there. Those, because it's an adverb clause first, it doesn't need a comma.
Or take it out after himself.
Yes, because the main clause is first, then you don't need a comma. That's right. If the main clause came after that, then you do need a comma. So that's right. So we take out this one and take out the one by drenched. And that's it. We did it. Okay, I'm going to mute myself for a second because I need to blow my nose. So hold on just a second. I'm still getting over this cold. And you did not want to hear that. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, we're done with grammar. Go ahead and get your binders out. And you guys worked on, get to my notes here this week. Oh, yes, the troglodyte paper. Okay. So we have kind of a lot to talk about here about the troglodyte paper. And just to give you a heads up, I am going to really get kind of detailed on correcting your troglodyte paper because I really, really want to make sure you guys get it spot on with all the things that I'm looking for. So a heads up, good news, I'm not assigning any new writing assignment this week. You will have grammar. You do have your grammar like usual. But I really want you to work with this troglodyte paper until it's like near perfect, okay? Because I really want you to get a feel for what I'm looking for and really make it superb. And then we'll share it with each other next week. So I want to show you a student sample of the troglodyte paper first. And, oops, not that one. This is not one of my students, actually. This came with the curriculum, and I like that they kind of shared some with me so that we can look at these papers together and see how other students are putting this together. So this is not my student. This came with the curriculum, like I said, but her name is Savannah. This is her paper. And I want to make sure to point out a few things to you because some students are still kind of really struggling with those topic clinchers, that new opener we have, which we're going to talk about, and then your dress ups. So here is her first paragraph, and you're going to notice the word ulm and troglodytes and strange are highlighted or bolded in the first sentence. Those are her topic words. And then down here at the bottom for her clincher, she has ulms and strangest and troglodytes. So remember the rule is the topic sentence and the clincher sentence must repeat or reflect. You guys know that rule, 2 or 3 key words. So she's repeating ulm and ulms, troglodytes, and then she has strange here and strangest. And that reflects, even though it's kind of almost the same word, pretty much, different ending. So I want to read this to you and I want to point out how she did this sentence opener right here. But it basically says the ulm is one of many troglodytes and is a very strange creature. Being eyeless and almost colorless, the ulm has uniquely, there's her ly, developed to life in a cave. An ulm can grow 8 to 12 inches long and weigh 5 to 8 ounces, which is about the size of a deck of cards. Olms are stygobites, which meaning they live underwater 100% of the time. And here's her opener. See how she has the two with brackets around it. And that's on your checklist. We'll look at that in a second. But she used the word during, which is actually a preposition. So this is a prepositional opener, like you find in your grammar books sometimes. During hard rains, an elm's cave can flood, and rushing water carries them outside of their cave, leaving them in puddles, where they will die when the sun comes out and dries the puddles. The first discovery of a troglobite, which was an olm, was in the 15th century. Slovenian people found dead olms in a puddle not far from a cave. The Slovenians assumed the olms were the offspring of dragons because of the olm's dinky legs, snake-like body, and fiery red gills. Olms have been brought into the pet industry for their dragon-like features that the Slovenians discovered years ago. An olm can live up to 100 years in captivity. Olms are one of the strangest troglobites, and they're very interesting. So there is the whole paragraph about olms and all the parts that I'm looking for. Now, this is what I want to see when you guys write your paper. I want to see these different parts of each paragraph with all the dress ups, the opener, and the topic clincher. And she did the same thing here with the cave dwelling rat snake. She has snake, troglobite, hunter. And at the bottom of that paragraph, snake, troglobite, hunter, it's repeating. And that's part of the rule. And then she has her opener. Oh, maybe she forgot it in that middle paragraph, actually, because I don't see it in there. So these samples aren't exactly perfect, but she should have an opener in that one. She does here at first. That is a prepositional opener, and see how she used the two with the bracket for that. And she has all of the other dress ups marked. So this is what I'm going to do right now, because there's only 3 of you in class today. I'm going to just pull up your paper. I'm not going to share it. Don't worry. I'm just going to talk about each one. So if you are able to pull up your paper right now during Zoom, if you know how to do that, go ahead and do that. If you don't know how to do that, you can just listen and then I'll explain it a little bit. But if you minimize your Zoom by hitting escape, then you can go to your Google Classroom and pull up your paper about troglobites. And then I'm going to look at it real quick with you. So, and we're just going to use this time in class as kind of a work time to fine tune that paper. I really want you to get it to where it's exactly what I'm looking for. So let me pull up yours too here. Let's see. Let me find it real quick too as we're talking. I see all 3 of you had a chance to turn it in, so that's good. So while you're looking at it, I'm just going to pull up Grayson's really quick. I'm sorry, Christian's. I'm pulling up Christian's first. And to me, it looks like you've got your topic clinchers and your openers. And Christian, are you okay if I share your paper with everybody so they can see yours too? You mind if I share it? Is that a no? That's okay. Your mom's like, let her share it. It's good. That's why I want to share it. So I want to share, I just wanted other people to see how you set it up. So for his topic clinchers, he used a highlighter, and you can see those words that connect: troglobites, lives, troglobites live or live. Actually, they're both lives and live. And then his opener is here. Now, the only thing on yours, Christian, is that you underlined sense too. So remember how we talked about double dipping? That's the only rule with those openers and dress ups. You can't double dip. So you'll have to find another spot for an Asia word. Does that make sense? but I like that it is starting with a preposition.
I got confused with the other opener that it was last year.
Oh,
Wasn't there like an Asia opener?
there was, and there will be in this class. We just haven't hit it yet, but we will. So yeah, it is not here yet. You only have prepositional opener, and that one is good for a prepositional opener, but you can't underline it at the same time is what I'm trying to say. But I really like your other dress ups that you have here. So I'm curious about this one about 7,000 species. Did you underline that as a adjective?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a number. So, but I bet you have another adjective in here and you probably don't even realize it. Ah, here's one. Small. That word small is an adjective. So I would undo 7,000 and underline small. So I'm just going to take a minute to go through this with each one of you. Because like I said, I really want to have it locked in. I do want to mention this. I'm going to go back to this sentence right here about the opener, prepositional opener. Think about that again. You're going to have to pick a different sentence here. Do you guys remember me sharing that phrases do not have verbs, but clauses do have verbs? So you're right, Christian. This is more of an Asia opener. So you need to find a spot for an actual prepositional opener where there's no verb in it. Does that make sense, Christian? Okay, good. So work on that and then let me know when you've got that. Um, can you work on it on the computer you're on right now? Christian, you got it?
I'm
Okay.
doing it right now.
Okay, perfect. So, and then Grayson, I'm going to look at yours really quick. See how yours looks. Yeah, and you did submit it. I see that. That's good. Okay, so Grayson, are you able to pull yours up in front of you right now? Hold on, I can't see you. Did you say yes, you can? Can you hear me okay, Grayson? Okay, so if you pull yours up, there's a couple things you need to fix on yours. So I want you to work on it right now. The one thing I really want you to do is double space it. Okay, so I'm going to return it to you so you can work on it. And I need you to double space it. And then did you notice on the samples that I showed you the opener has brackets around the two? Do that instead of using the hashtag. Does that make sense, Grayson? Yeah, okay, good. So go ahead and fix those two things and then I'll look at it again. And I saw Harmony's turn hers in. That looks really good. Oh yeah, I see you've got your openers in there now too. Yay. So I'm gonna just send a little note to your mom in the chat, Harmony, okay? So she can hold on if I can do that. Yes, I can. Okay, let me know how yours is going, Christian, if you got it or if you have any questions. And same for you, Grayson.
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
I changed the opener. Wait, no, I didn't change it yet.
Okay. See what you were, let me, I'm going to return that to you, Christian, so that you can resubmit it after you fix that. The other thing you're missing, Christian, is your title. So look at your final sentence and come up with a title.
She's good. You can go over her paper.
Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
It was going to take me way longer to type it back from sideways.
Oh yeah, no problem. I just wanted to make sure.
You're good.
So, and I see that you added, Harmony, you added your openers, which looks really good. So when you're looking, are you guys able to look at her paper at the same time as the Zoom or no?
Yeah, we have a printed one.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So that first paragraph looks really, really good. The one thing I'm pointing out is kind of like what I said about Christians. When you have that opener, which you have since troglodytes strictly live in blackness, they have underdeveloped eyes, which is a great sentence. I love it. You underlined or you highlighted since, and it's an opener. So that's kind of what we call double dipping. So that's where if you can think of another spot to use one of the Asia words somewhere else, actually, you know what? I would leave that sentence and move the opener to somewhere else because that is a good place for the Asia word since. So try to think of another spot in that first paragraph, Harmony, to put a prepositional opener. And remember, we have a list of prepositions. You can look either in your grammar book or you should have it actually with your stuff in your front pocket. Page 137 from the binder. So maybe you guys can work on that, finding a new spot for the prepositional opener. Okay. Grayson, how's yours coming along?
I turned it back in.
You turn it back in. Okay, let me check it real quick. Okay. Okay. Yes, better. Good. Okay, good. So let's look at yours really quick. I see that you made red the words that are your dress up, or no, your topic clinchers. Look at your first paragraph, Grayson. You have unique, it matches, but you have troglodytes highlighted in the last sentence, but you forgot to highlight it in the first sentence. And I'm going to return it back to you so you can work on that. Instead of changing the color of the font, I want you to either use the highlighter or bold. Does that make sense? Like bold black. So pick one that you want to use and go ahead and fix that first paragraph. And then before you resubmit it, we need to talk about the second paragraph. Okay, so let me know when you fix that. So what we're doing in class today is a little bit different. Like I said earlier, we're just going to fine tune this paper in class because I really want you to see what I want from it. So, and Harmony, when you found a new spot for your opener, let me know because I want to hear what you came up with. Okay. And that's for her first paragraph. Okay, so I see you working. See how you can see my cursor, Grayson? I'm on here on your document with you. So on that second paragraph, do you see how you have waterfall and you have climbing, cave, fish, and really? Those are too many words for your topic clincher. Remember, the rule is 2 to 3. So pick either 2 or 3 of those that you want to highlight or bold in the first sentence and the last sentence. Okay, and then you can unbold the ones that you're not going to use. The other thing I'm going to recommend for you, Grayson, is you have the word really 2 times in that. I know you're highlighting it, but that word is an ly adverb. So that's not really a good um, topic clincher. I would highlight waterfall instead of really. And then one of those reallys you need to make into a different um, adverb. Instead of really, think of another way to say it with an ly, because it's too, when you repeat words like that, it's too repetitive. Does that make sense, Grayson? Okay, cool. So you can work on that. And then Christian, how about you? Are you still working on yours?
I'm just figuring out the title.
Oh, okay. I'll return yours, Harmony, if you want to. I think it has to go back to you to work on that. But how is it going with Harmony over there? Are you guys coming up with a good sentence for a prepositional opener on that first paragraph? Yes, I saw that. Okay. Because the way you have that right there, Harmony, with since troglodytes strictly live in blackness, that is more of an adverb clause because you have the word live in there. And so that's why that's not going to be labeled as a prepositional opener. Because remember, the prepositional opener doesn't have any verbs like since the beginning of time or since that's not a good example either. Since the it's hard to use since as an opener. That's what I'm trying to think of a good opener for since. Like I'm thinking of since the war or something like that, or since yesterday, or um since is a hard one to start with a prepositional opener. Maybe she could try something different on the list, like let's see what else you have here. Nice.
Amid sharp senses, which allow them to smell, taste, and even feel vibrations.
I like that. That's a good spot. Good job, Harmony. I really like that. That's much better. And then in your second paragraph, over time, these water climbing fish, that's perfect. That's a great opener for that one. And then without eating, that this third paragraph, you might need to think of another opener for that third paragraph without eating, because we have eating as your verb. So remember, prepositional openers don't have a verb in the beginning. Maybe you switch that around and say something like for 14 years. Start with that because that's more of a prepositional phrase. Like for 14 years, Olms can live without eating, something like that. Okay, you guys can work on that one. Did you come up with a title, Christian?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Okay. And then Grayson, did you fix yours too? You did. Okay, so let me check those really quick. So Christian. Oh yeah. Okay, that's a good title. Cave dwelling troglobites. Okay, good. Despite their intense study from scientists. So, Christian, one more spot that I want you to look at. Third paragraph. Well, for one thing, I see a banned word there. So I'm going to return this back to you. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I'm going to make you find it because you know how to find it, Christian. You used a banned word in the third paragraph. And your opener says, despite their intense study from scientists, there are places that they can't be found. That sentence is a little choppy to me. I
I
wonder if
think
you can
we
work
might
with
still
that.
need to add some things
You
or
still need
take
to
out
add
some
some things?
things.
Yeah, I also see the word number 14. So when you're looking for adjectives, don't underline years or numbers, I mean, okay? Does that make sense? So I sent it back to you. So work on that. Fix the number. That opener in paragraph 3, I need you to work with that a little bit more too. Because it doesn't really flow right there. And then Grayson, let me check yours really quick. Yeah, that looks better. Oh, that looks better. Extremely and then really, that's better. Good job, Grayson. I like that. And then your third paragraph looks good. Let's see. I'm just looking at it, Grayson. It looks pretty good. Okay, good. I think yours is there, Grayson. I do think your title is a little long. So, and remember the title rule has to come from your last sentence. I'm gonna send it back to you because there's also a banned word in your last paragraph, your third paragraph. So look at your last sentence there, fix the banned word, and then try to come up with a title because the rule on your checklist says 1 to 3 words from your final sentence. So go ahead and fix that. And that's true for you too, Harmony. Well, let me ask you first. Did you fix that opener for your third paragraph? Did you come up the opener with the prepositional phrase? Did you find a better one? What did you put instead? You want to read it to me?
For 14 years, alms can live without eating.
Good. Okay, good. That's better because the phrase doesn't have a verb in it. That's good. So now I think that's your last sentence. So I want you to think, Harmony, think about a good title for your paper, and you can add to your last sentence, or you can actually write one more sentence at the end. But on your checklist, the title rule says 1 to 3 words from your final sentence. So you can do it either way. You can think of a good title and write one more sentence with those words in it, or you can add to the sentence you already have there and or use some of those words in your title. I know your last sentence doesn't talk about the other troglobites, so you might need the word troglobites in your title with something else. Okay, so think about a good title.
Troglodytes live in Thailand.
No, just troglodytes live, I think is good.
Troglodytes live.
That's your title. Okay, good. Troglobites live. Okay. You got live in the last sentence, so that would work. Okay. Okay. Let's see where we're at here. Did you guys finish with yours, Christian and Grayson? You fixed it? Got that banned word? No? Okay. Christian's still fixing his. Pull it up again. And I know this is a little nitpicky, but it is on the checklist. So Harmony, if you know how to double space, I do want that. Okay, it looks like you got your thumbs up there, and then indent would be good for your paragraphs too. Each beginning sentence, just move it over a little bit as an indent, and that'll be good for that too. Everybody's getting it now. Looks really, see how just these little things, I'm serious, these little things really make it so much better. I'm looking at yours right now, Grayson. It looks really good. Better title. That's better. It's shorter. Okay. I think that yours is there, Grayson. So would it be okay with you if I pull it up and you read it to us? Your paper? Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm going to share it right here. And before you start reading it, I do want to talk about your title for a second because there's some rules about titling a paper. Trying to think of how you could, when you title a paper, the first word has to have a capital and the last word has to have a capital, which you have. And then after that, the key words should be capitalized as well. So really, you can leave in lowercase, but I feel like that word live is an important word and it's a key word. So I think I'm going to go ahead and fix that for you real quick since I have it on my end here. And that's good. That's a good title. So, okay, when you're ready, go ahead and read your paper, your title and everything so we can look at it together.
The troglodytes that live in Malaysia.
Mhm.
According to people, troglodytes are unique and creepy. When their eyes are underdeveloped, it's because they live in complete darkness. They have adapted with feeler fins to hunt prey. Troglodytes have sharp senses that help them smell and to feel vibrations. They munch on bats, bacteria, and whatever washes up on the shoreline. Troglodytes, which have pink-colored bodies, are really cool. But seriously, there are reports that 7,000 species have developed. Troglodytes are probably the most unique animal I've ever heard of. Within some caves, there is waterfall climbing cavefish, which is an extremely awesome creature. This is not an adorable fish because it has no skin color. Their diet consists of algae and other tiny organisms. Scales are not important for this fish to survive. The waterfall climbing cavefish does not need scales because it is harder to leap up waterfalls. As they happen in nature, their scales disappear completely. It would be really cool to witness a waterfall climbing cavefish climb a waterfall. Got to put a period right there. In
Oh,
Malaysia, there are these snakes that are exotic. They have advanced their senses by living in perpetual darkness. The cave-dwelling rat snake has lightning-fast reflexes that help them catch food. The snake, which is really cool, is 2.5 feet long. These snakes are on the top of the food chain, which means they have no predators. The cave-dwelling rat snake has become brilliant because it can sense bats by its body heat. When it tries to devour an animal that is bigger than its mouth, the snake unhinges its jaws to swallow its prey. I would not want to travel to Malaysia because one of these snakes would try to devour me.
good job. Nice. All right, let's give him a clap in the camera, you guys. Good job. Or an emoji. Either way. Very nice. I like it, Grayson. Okay, so you've got your all your topic clinchers in there. You got your openers and you've got your dress ups. You're there. I'm gonna send it back so you can fix that one period because I can't remember where that was. And then just send it back to me when you're done with that. And then how about Harmony? I know the one that you corrected right there in front of you is a little bit different. So would you like to read yours to the class? Your paper with your corrections on there?
Tragobites are called cave dwellers because they live in and die in one cave. Because of they have amazing adaptations that keep them alive. Since tragobites strictly live in blackness, they have underdeveloped eyes
We changed that one. It's mid.
amid sharp senses, which allow them to smell, taste, and even feel vibrations. Tragobites also have feelers and longer antennas and legs. Water climbing cavefish live in Thailand, where the caves are pitch black. They easily climb steep rocks covered in water. These strange cavefish can vertically scale waterfalls. They walk like salamanders with barbed fins, which makes them move like a land animal. Because these fish live in darkness, they have underdeveloped eyes, scales, and are colorless. Over time, these water-climbing cavefish have created many weird
Adaptations.
adaptations.
Mhm.
Live in underwater where they exist in total darkness. They have snake-like bodies, stinky
Nice.
legs, and red gills.
Mhm.
Their length is 8 to 12 inches and they weigh up to 5 ounces because they chomp insects which they detect chemically. Arms only use their senses of touch and smell. They have weird wedge-shaped heads. For 14 years, can live without eating.
Nice. Very good. Okay, let's give her a clap in the camera. Good job. Yay. Good job, Harmony. Really good. I like that. I like how you fix those sentences and all those dress ups in there and all those topic clinchers. I heard them all. It was really good. All right. So, Christian, let me double check yours. How's yours coming? Did you send it back in? Okay, let me check here. Yep, I see it. And you fixed your band word and you fixed, okay, good. Got another. Awesome. All right. So, Christian, I would love for you to share yours too. I know we kind of looked at it for a minute, but I don't think we got to really read it. So if you could read it, that would be great.
All right. Cave-dwelling troglodytes. Troglodytes are a strange type of creature that lives in total darkness. They spend their entire life inside caves, consuming anything that comes from outside. For example, they may swallow some small insects. Because troglodytes live in total darkness, they either can't use their eyes or have no eyes at all. And despite the fact that most troglodytes have no eyes, a few of them do. They live longer and don't have to consume as much. Wait. I need to get rid of that sentence.
Here, yeah, I agree with that. Let me return that to you. That's good. I'm glad you caught that.
Got rid of that sentence.
Oh, you just got rid of it? Okay. Okay, keep going. Wait, hold on. Okay, there you go.
Should I start from where I left off or from the beginning?
Start where you left off, but I was looking at that next word you put an astonishingly. It actually would be astonishingly. So you need an ing in there, astonishingly. Does that make sense? So you can fix that one real quick and then start right there where you have astonishingly.
Astonishingly, over 7,000 species of troglodytes have developed through time. Troglodytes have changed over thousands of years, which gave some of them antennae. Troglodytes can't smell or taste since they don't have to in order to live. The waterfall climbing cavefish is a strange troglodyte that is a fish. This fish can climb steep waterfalls which are cascading down on them. They don't have any eyes, scales, and they are colorless. On the surface of 8 caves in Thailand, people have found this fish, making it surprisingly hard to find. I need to get rid of that last part and find another LY. I'll just continue. It has barbs on its fins because it has to climb waterfalls to get food. They feed on algae and microscopic creatures since there is nothing else to eat. The waterfall climbing cavefish doesn't have any scales because it has no predators. The is another troglodyte that looks kind of like a dragon. It can survive 14 years without food if it can't find any. They are completely aquatic, meaning that they never leave the water. Although they usually don't leave the water, they might end up on land because of heavy rains or floods. Despite their intense study from scientists, they are still mysterious creatures. The was the first species of troglodytes to be found. Need to put the right there. The can't look at anything and are colorless, which is like most troglodytes.
Nice. Is that the end?
Yeah.
Okay, good job. Let's give him a clap in the camera. Good job,
I
Christian.
still need to change a few things.
Yeah, that's okay. You can fix it and then turn it back in. So I'm glad we took that time during class all of yours are like right there now. And that's what I wanted to go through with you and walk it through with you and talk it through with you. So, I think Harmony already has hers in, but if you could do it, like resubmit it so I can see the final copy. And then Grayson, I think I have yours, and I'll put a score on it. You guys did great. And it's already the end of class, so we're going to stop right there. So just a reminder, this week you're only doing grammar, which is kind of nice, and then we'll dive into the next lesson next week. And next week, I have to move your class because of a meeting. So if you guys can come on Tuesdays, or not Tuesdays plural, but on Tuesday, next Tuesday instead at 11:30, that's great. If that's not a good time for you, I will record the class and then you can watch it later. All right, you guys, have a good one. Good job, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.